Hey everyone, it's Aries. I'm coming with you with a review for the premiere episode of American Horror Story Hotel. Now, it had its good scenes, but it also had those like, oh, hurry up and come on kind of scenes as well. Um, for the premiere episode, I'm gonna be nice. For the premiere episode, I'm gonna be nice and be like, yeah, that was a good episode. Probably I need to watch it again when I'm fully rested because I'm just getting off of graveyard shift. And this premiered last night. Today is now Thursday. This premiered Wednesday night. I just got off my shift, came in here, put on my good Xfinity. Um, got on my internet and went on Xfinity.com and watched the premiere episode. Maybe if I have if I sleep a good 8 hours and watch it again, then I'll be like, I wouldn't feel like I wanted to fall asleep while I watched it. But other than that, other than that, I mean, I'm a fan of American Horror Story, even though I did not catch the very first season. I watched the seasons after that. But the premiere season, it was okay. We start out with two foreign girls checking into the Hotel Cortez. Um, and, you know, you have your regular American Horror Story, um, people for Sarah and Kate, they're back, um, and Kate or Kathy, is it Kathy Bates? Yeah, Kathy and Sarah are back in this season, and Kathy, she checks the two foreign girls in, takes them to her room, and this is where it kind of gets a little creepy. So she takes them to the room. She don't have no customer service whatsoever. and they're like, well, before she takes them to the room, they're like, this is not a motel for us. We would like our deposit back. And Kathy's like, no refunds. Basically stopped them in their tracks. And she's like, well, you already paid for the night. How about you just stay? So they end up staying. She takes them into a motel room, and the girls are like, can we get a bucket? Can we get some ice? And Kathy's like, the ice machine is down there, blase, blase, blah, blah, blah. I'm not really going to get into it. But because I'm just going to tell you to go watch the episode. But where I say it gets a little creepy, one of the girls, she goes down the hallway to get ice, and she sees this child standing at the end of the hallway, black and white, short, suit. Well, a suit with, what I'm talking about. And then the little child points to the other end of the hallway. Then the girl turns around, sees another child at the other end, and then she walks down there. But when she walks down there, the child disappeared. Oh, creepy. Then then she turns back around, and the other child's gone as well. All right, so she goes to get her ice, and this hand is like, you have your back turned, so you don't know if anyone's coming up behind you. So this hand is reaching out towards her, and I already know who hand it is because we already know who's featured in this season. I'm not going to say her name just of yet because she didn't appear just yet. Okay. So the girl goes back to the motel room. The other girl's like lighting candles, talking about there is this smell in this room. Where is it coming from? La 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 la. They found out the smell's coming from the mattress. They take all the covers off. See that the mattress has been sewn up. So the other girl goes into the little kitchenette, gets a little knife, cuts the strings, and They don't see anything, but all of a sudden, this man pops up out the mattress. Woo! This man pops up out the mattress, and it goes from there. So Miss Kathy, she takes them to another room, and the girls was like, "I thought you were sold out." And Miss Kathy, room 64 in this motel. Miss Kathy's like, "We never rent this room." Okay, because they saw this man pop out this mattress. They think they're waiting for the police to come, but we know the police ain't coming. So the girls chill, whatever. Then ain't no cell phone reception in this motel. Ain't no internet. What are you going to do? So girls are sitting around, and we come to where one of the girls is waking up, looking for her friend. She opens the bathroom and sees that two kids are basically feeding on her like vampires. And then it cuts out, and then it comes into the credits. I believe that's when the credits came on. I watched it. So I might bounce around some just to let y'all know. So then we go into a police, basically a police scene, where one of the police officer goes into a scene where you're gonna have to watch this. You have to watch this because I'm not gonna explain it. You're gonna have to watch it just to see what he goes to see. And, he looks around the scene and sees what's going on and stuff like that. Because I'm not gonna tell you. You're gonna have to go watch it. If you haven't watched it, you're gonna have to watch it to see what he goes to see. So fast forward, he leaves there, goes back to his precinct, and goes into his office to look over another case that happened where a guy had his head basically looks like bashed in, was anally raped with a tool, and stuff like that. And then his daughter calls him. He basically starts reading to her. Then he gets a phone call from a stranger, and it's basically the murderer called his phone and basically tells him he's gonna do this again, and gives him the motel room to Hotel Cortez, motel room 64 in Hotel Cortez. Okay. Now before he gets there, we have a druggie checking into the motel, and Miss Bates is giving him, like it's 150. Oh, the sign says 30, and she's like, it's an old sign. Blah 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 blah. She gives him to the room key to hotel. I mean, to the room key. She gives him to the room key to room 64. But I thought we didn't rent out this room. Does everything happen in this room? Okay. So the druggie goes to the motel room, shoots up, starts seeing strange things. Oh, I didn't tell y'all about the maid. When the girl was walking down the hallway, she out in the hallway cleaning a blood-stained sheet. Mr. telling girl, I can get out anything. Okay, now back to the druggie in the room 64. He sees the maid, and then he sees this figure coming out the corner. Then he's listening to what the maid says. I'm like, I know he ain't this high. Then all of a sudden, the figure that came out the corner pushes him, turns around, pulls his pants down, and starts basically, assassinating him with this metal pointy tool that is on his private part. Then Miss Sarah walks in, and she's like basically telling him, the more you scream, the more he's going to do it. She was basically telling him to be quiet. She told him, if you tell me you love me, he'll stop, basically. So the dude says, I love you. Okay. And she says, "Tell me again." And she says it. He says it again. By this time, the dude had stopped, and then He went off somewhere. I don't know where he went. I think he died. Because I'm believing, for some reason, I'm believing this hotel is full of ghosts as well. I believe it's some ghosts. It's going to be a lot of stuff in this one. I believe so. Okay. Then the police officer arrives. And guess what? He goes into rooms. Well, the police officer arrives, walks up to the front counter. Miss Bates is, I think, is already sitting there, or did he have to ring the bell? No, she's already sitting there. She already identified him as a police officer, and he's like, "Oh, it's that obvious." Then here comes the tranny. The tranny appeared. Why the tranny? Not the tranny. What am I calling her? The drag queen. We're gonna call her the drag queen, even though she's not wearing a wig. She's still wearing the makeup, got the nails, wearing the female clothing. We're gonna call it the queen. She first appears as the druggie is walking down the hallway to room 64, and she's just looking at him. Then, so that's when the queen shows, and the queen comes back out when the police officer walks in because she goes show him room 64. So they walk into room 64 clean as a whistle. Ain't nothing, like nothing ain't happened. So, hold on. So, he searches the room and he ends up falling asleep. He wakes up to a figure of a boy. And he starts chasing after the boy, calling him by his son's name. And you will figure out why later on in the episode. I'm not there yet. But he chases after the little boy, and the little boy disappears. Okay. Then I think Miss Lady Gaga. I think this is when her scene comes up. So then I think this is when Miss Lady Gaga shows herself. We're past the police officer and stuff like that. Now we're on Miss Gaga's scene. Dude sitting in the tub taking him a bath, walks out, gets up out the tub. Then we see Gaga basically getting ready herself. She oh really, they is doing a lot on this episode. She basically, they got her basically like she sniffing coke, got her chopping it up, putting it in lines, faking it like she's sniffing it up. She get up in her get up. They go to the cemetery. Some places they do cemetery movies where you can go to a cemetery and watch scary movies. Old scary movies. So that's where her and her co-star went. I don't know his name. I told you this is the first episode, so I don't know everybody that's in it at this time. But I know I'm waiting for Miss Angela Bassett to make her appearance. Go to the scene. They sit out on a black blanket and to watch the movie. And they start getting the attention of this other couple on another blanket. Basically, kind of propositioning them, swinger type of thing. So they go back to Hotel Cortez, go back up to the penthouse, have a lovely, I wouldn't really call it a sex scene. It was a sex scene, but not kind of really a sex scene. Yeah, y'all get to see Miss Gaga in a thong. Yes, you get to see Miss Gaga in a thong and some pasties. With some long bleached blonde hair. We know it's a wig, it's a lace front, we know it. And they're basically having this little sex scene. Excuse me. Having this little sex scene. And all of a sudden, these Gaga and her co-star because they're wearing these gloves with these, little metal fingers and stuff. Take their gloves and stab these people in their throat. Kapoosh. Blood scoring everywhere. And him and her are drinking the blood. Really? Oh my gosh, all over these nice silk sheets. So they're basically drinking the blood, and Gaga's like, I thought she didn't want to go out. He's like, it's not the going out part, it's the cleaning up part. Gaga's like, call the maid. Boom. Go into commercial, because yes, I got commercials on the internet too. Come on, it's the extended thing. They got to put commercials in there. We come back. Do anybody else check in at this time, or does the police officer go home? But the police officer goes home, apologizes to his wife for being late. She runs off and does her thing. Then I think him and his daughter go off to have sushi back to the motel. We found out what happened to the two girls. I think this is the time when we should see what happened to the two girls. Miss Bates, she is trying to, cleanse the girls, because they basically came to America just to have them drug out craze fest, all types of pills and alcohol, and I'm basically trying to cleanse them, because the people who drink the blood basically say they taste like shit. I'm just saying what's going on into the episode. So she's trying to cleanse them. This Miss Paulson walks in. I think I'm saying that right. I'm just going to call her Sarah. And so Miss Sarah walks in and is like, you need to have compassion, basically. And she lets one of the girls go. She basically tells the girl to run. So the girl's running through the motel. Kathy's trying to stop her. The girl almost gets to the door, and Gaga appears out of nowhere and slices the girl's throat. Ka-ching! With one of her little gloves with the metal fingers. I'm like, ooh. Lady almost thought she was free. Gaga disappeared appeared out of nowhere and sliced this girl's throat. Blood all on the floor. Blood on the floor. And just bleeding out onto the motel floor. Where are we from here? I'm trying to remember, y'all. Even though I just watched it. Then we find out. Back to the police officer and his daughter. While the police officer and his daughter are sitting there having sushi, they're having a discussion. I'm not going to get into this discussion. Watch the episode. And the police officer gets a text message from his wife talking about, help me. So him and the daughter run off. They go to this house when they get into the house, the murderer calls the dude's phone again, I think from the wife's cell phone, and basically told him, I told you I was going to do it again. So the dude, trying to find him through this nice big house. He finds him, and the murderer runs off. Well, before that, let me rewind a little bit. When the dude pulled up, a police officer was already on scene because the alarm was going off. So the detective with his daughter, because he's really kind of a detective, kind of, sort of, whatever you want to call him, asked the police officer to watch the daughter. So while the detective was in the house searching for the murderer and what was going on, basically he was there because he thought his wife was in trouble. The police officer noticed that the bushes were rustling, so the police officer goes off to check that. The daughter, who was supposed to stay in the car, we know this never happens, supposed to stay in the car, gets out of the vehicle and walks into the house. Little girl, you was told to stay in the car. Why is you getting out? And we already knew that was going to happen. So She walks in the house and basically comes up upon the bodies that the killer has. It's two guys, and he got them tied up on the bed, facing like this, and their guts, their intestines are hanging out of their abdomens. Well, out of those abs, because they were some very well put together guys. It was two of them. I think they were a couple. I don't know. And their intestines were hanging out of their abs. Cut them open, slice them open, and all hanging out. Daughter sees this, screams. Father comes to find her, and then we go back. Then we go have a flashback. We have like a couple of flashbacks in this episode that explain of what's like going on in the present day. So we have a flashback, and it's the detective and his wife and their two kids. And then we find out that the little boy that the detective was chasing after was his son, Holden. Because they were at a fair or a carnival, whatever you want to call it. He took his son to get on the Ferris, not the Ferris wheel. What is that thing called? Is it the Ferris wheel? A little thing with the horses that goes round and around. Is it? No, I thought the Ferris wheel was the big circle thing. Either way it goes, he took him to ride the little horses, and he puts him on the horse. They strap him in. The thing starts going around. He takes his eye off him for a minute to look at his phone. Turns back around. Son's gone. So now we understand, okay, why he chased after this little boy in the motel, because he thought that was his son. Go back to present day. Him and the wife were having a discussion. I thought you were in danger. I would never put my daughter in danger. La la la. I told the officer to watch her. Lulu. Either way it goes. And he was like, I need to go, because I believe if I stay, if he comes back after me, I don't want y'all around. So basically he's telling his wife he's leaving the house, and that anyone can copy a phone to use it. Basically I think the murderer copied her phone number. So he basically is moving out. Then we come back to the motel. I think what I just spoke of. Either way it goes, I told you I was going to be jumping around. So some of this stuff I might be saying might not be in order. Just to let y'all know. Even though I just said I just watched the episode, don't mean I'm not going to jump around and be in order. Like I said, go watch it. So, come back at the motel, we find out that the owner of the motel is selling the motel. Miss Bates don't know nothing about that. Miss Bates is like, oh, he's just gonna put us out on the streets where we gonna go, and they go to the penthouse. Up in the penthouse, they go into one side of the penthouse, and Gaga's co-star is basically laying on the couch naked. He stands up, get a good shot of his ass. Either way it goes. Then he storms off into the other room where Gaga is, telling her what's going on, and she's basically telling him, no, she's basically kind of selling the motel, whatever. Have discussions, whatever. He noticed a piece of art in the room, and the person that is purchasing the motel, or is the new owner, whatever, has a son. Now let me rewind back down, because while they were downstairs, The son kind of wandered off and went to one of the doors in the lobby that has, glass, frosted glass, kind of, and he was bouncing the ball up against it. And this skin-like loose figure pushed himself up against the glass, scared the son, so he ran back to his father. Now, fast forward. All right. So, Gaga sends the new owner, or the going to be owner, and her co-star off to see a piece of artwork, I believe, with the realtor, and Gaga and the son are basically left alone. So Gaga shows him, walks him around and shows him a secret room behind the wall, basically full of children with candy and video games. And guess who we see? She says, Holden, the detective's son that was kidnapped. Oh, we see Holden. And Gaga was like, well, Holden, we have guests, where your manners, sort of kind of thing. And he speaks to basically the new owner, or going to be owner's son. Okay. Then Gaga's co-star, come back down. Gaga's co-star is basically storming off and basically telling him, Kathy Bates, we found out, here we go again with Kathy Bates in a son situation, mother-son situation, again. Okay, so basically Gaga's co-star that's storming off is Kathy's son. And basically she's telling him, I stayed so I could watch over you. And he's basically telling her, you need to let me go, type of thing. And then we go to a flashback where Sarah and Kathy's son going to the Motel Cortez. Kathy's been following her son. Sarah and the son going to room 64. Kathy Storm basically comes in trying to find out what room they're going to. Sarah and the son are in the room. They shoot up. I don't know if the son dies or whatever, but I know he is gone. He is high on what Sarah gave him. And Sarah, she's just like, woo-doo-doo-doo-doo. And we got Kathy just banging on the door. Kathy would ruin somebody's high on the real. But Kathy banging on the door. And Sarah lets her in, and she's like, what you gave him? Someone called 911. Sarah was like, I gave him China White. And I told him not to try to keep up with me. So she's like, you don't need to be leaving, la la la. And Sarah just traipses on out the room because she's feeling her high, honey, and she's going to enjoy her high. Then Sarah walks by a window that is open, the curtains is fluttering. She's feeling her high because she's feeling on the curtains. And then all we know, Kathy basically mushes her. And Sarah basically catapults out the window and down to the ground. Boom. So, hold on. If Sarah died, because I told you they do flashbacks, so Sarah's dead. So she's a ghost in this motel. So, did the son die as well? Is he a ghost as well? Okay, well, so Sarah dies because she got pushed out the window by Kathy, the mother-son situation. And Kathy walks back in the room, and there's Gaga with the son talking about her son has a jawbone for days or something like that. Like I said, you wanted to watch. watch. And then we basically end the episode with the detective checking into Motel Cortez and what room? Room 64. And then basically that ends the episode. So I can't really wait for I can't wait for the next episode because I'm going to watch. Like I said, I am a fan of American Horror Story. I saw season 2, 3, and 4. Now I'm going to watch season 5. So we're going to see what happens. All right. Love y'all. Peace.